Welcome back to EMT Mood. Today I'm here with
MP and AJ.
Today we're reacting to 5 true horror stories animated by Wancy Entertainment.
Wancy Entertainment.
Without further ado, I hope you guys are doing well. Let's get straight into the video.
Oh my
Hey
God,
Wancy, I'm Ayla. I want to share a true experience that happened to me several times when I was a kid. I was around 8 years old, and my sister was 10. I grew up in a rough neighborhood where crime was almost a daily occurrence, and it wasn't unusual to see police in the area. At the time, my family lived in a small 2-story apartment building. You needed a key to enter, and there were only 2 units on each floor. We lived in one of the ground floor units. One night, I was home with my little sister and my little brother, who was asleep in my bed, my mom and my dad. I was on my tablet, my sister was on hers, and my mom was cooking dinner while my dad was watching TV. Everything felt normal until we suddenly heard glass shatter in the main entrance downstairs. It was loud enough for my entire family to hear. Everyone froze, and then yelling erupted outside. Moments later, someone began pounding violently on our door. My parents rushed in and told us to stay quiet and go to the kitchen. As my mom hurried us to safety, I caught a glimpse of our bedroom window and froze. It was wide open, and 2 to 4 men were staring right at us through it. The window didn't have a lock, which made it easy for them to try and get in.
Yeah, GG's to the whole family.
It's over. What the hell do you mean here? Glass breaking. You live on the first floor. Someone banging up that door, and then what? You're walking, you're walking to a safe spot on the bottom level floor. It's nowhere safe, and you see 2 to 3 men at an open window just staring at you. At that point, just close your eyes and pray. Nothing you can do at that point.
Yeah, good luck to the dad, bro. I know he's gonna get finessed out of this whole situation. Like,
GG's.
yeah, let's hope her brother. He has a brother, right? I saw she had a brother that was on the couch. Hopefully,
the younger one, no?
Yeah. Hopefully, he can assist at least. You know, because I don't see him right now. I seen the 2 sisters moving with the mom, so
yeah,
we'll see what's going on. Yeah.
My sister and I screamed and grabbed our little brother,
That's
who was
Solo
still
and the whole
half
man,
asleep.
bro.
When I looked back, I saw the men struggling to climb through, but thankfully, our bunk bed was pressed against the window, blocking their way and buying us precious seconds.
Wow.
While we huddled in the living room, shaking with fear, my sister managed to call the police. It felt like forever before they arrived. Later, we found out there had been 5 men in total. 2 tried to escape but were caught. They were arrested for attempted murder and robbery. The police questioned all of us and eventually left 1 officer behind to watch the area for the night. My dad later had to testify in court, though I have no memory of it, and honestly, I'd rather not. Because of the trauma,
Yeah, I don't know who he was trying to murder, bro, because it seems
2
like
were caught. Did his dad end up in a fight? Like the 2 that tried to escape, they tried to kill the father?
Low key.
Because what the hell you mean attempted murder for 2 of them?
Nah, the other 2 guys are probably at the front door, like banging on that shit, trying to get inside to deal with the dad, and the other 3 are trying to get the kids because they're rapists or some shit. But
gosh knows what's going on. That's crazy. And then why the windows have no locks on them, and it's a very high crime area?
nah, but
the government be knowing what they're doing, bro. There's high crime in the area, and you're gonna make sure the apartments and the buildings and the houses don't have locks on the window.
Yeah,
they know what they're doing, bro. They know what they're doing.
Sister and I went to therapy for a while. To this day, I still don't know why we were targeted. Plenty of other families lived in that building. From what we later learned, the men have since been released, which is one of the reasons we moved in 2019.
See?
Since then, the apartment complex had replaced all the doors with shatterproof glass and added key or passcode access only for residents. Years have passed, and I'm now 15, almost 16, while my sister is almost 18. I still visit that building sometimes, but that night remains crystal clear in my mind.
I don't know what she's talking about, but she still visits that fucking unit.
She talking about, yeah, and then she talking about let's stay crystal clear in her mind after she says she don't really remember.
Yeah, like what is she talking about right now?
The trauma is crystal clear in her mind. That's what she's trying to say.
They're lucky though, bro. Honestly, because it could have went like real bad for them. So
dead for real.
Shout out to the family, real life, if that really was the case. And I hope they can move past that because it seems like she's still like.
They made it out alive.
Traumatized or something about it.
She's still traumatized.
We'll see.
But they made it out alive. Everyone's alive and well.
Yeah.
That was a GOAT story.
There we go. So
wow, see, that's crazy. Actually trying to climb through the window and it had no locks on it.
Yeah.
This story happened a few months ago, and it's the reason I get so paranoid when I take public transport at night. This is what happened. My part-time job is being a tutor for high schoolers. I work in a suburb that has a reputation for being shady. But from my own experience, I never found it too dangerous. You just have to stay aware of your surroundings from time to time, especially when you see sketchy people hanging around. Usually, I'm at the tutoring center from around 4 to 9 p.m. But at the time of this story, our Year 12 students were getting ready for their exit exams. That meant extra sessions, extra stress, and longer hours for us tutors. Some nights, we didn't leave until right before midnight. So one night, at around 11:30, I was waiting for my train. The station wasn't empty. There were a few people around, but I was the only one on my platform. All I could hear was the light drizzle outside and the sound of train announcements echoing through the empty air. That's when I heard laughter coming from my left. I looked over and saw a group of tall teenage boys, all wearing black hoodies and silver chains. They were exactly the kind of people that gave this suburb its reputation. I turned back toward my phone, pretending not to notice them.
I'm just saying, he's talking about he's going on his phone and trying not to notice them. Bro, if what do you mean? Step back. Like, he's so close to falling on the tracks that he should just move back away and just make it harder for them if they're trying to do some shit.
Yeah, stay from them and the track.
He's literally right there. And he's going on his phone, so then he's not noticing them coming, and he's at risk of falling. Like,
I don't know. I just find it funny the way they drew the chain.
Nah, the chains
what are those?
Them chains are hanging
the whole time. Like, what is that? Ball cap?
Nah, but it's a good thing he said silver chains and not fucking golden chains. Hilarious. If that was gold chain, I'd automatically think that shit fake.
Yeah.
That shit tripping, bro. Let's see.
Kept talking and laughing, but then, suddenly, their voices dropped to whispers. That caught my attention. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see each of them staring at me. One of them nodded in my direction, showing a crooked smile. I froze, then quickly looked back down at my phone. Moments later...
No. You see the way he made eye contact? Bro, that's how I feel. Like, I feel uncomfortable when someone is looking at me and then I make eye contact with them, bro. That's how I be feeling. Like, what the fuck? Like, why are you looking at me, bro?
I don't know. I only feel that when I'm working and people are sitting in the dining area and they literally just sitting there like...
Yeah, no.
Or like they're picking their nose and staring you in your face. Bro. That happened to me one time. I had to say, is there something that you're looking for in your nose that you have to look at me to find it?
And bro.
And he just looked away, and the rest of the whole day he sat there. He didn't move, and he just didn't look at me.
So yeah, he's tripping or something because
he's tripping.
It's not a good feeling, bro.
Digging his nose.
It's just not a good feeling being watched. Like, just bad touch.
The train finally arrived. It was almost completely empty. Just me and that group of teenagers. Trying to play it safe, I went to the carriage on the far right, the one closest to the driver's cabin, with the boys, all of me, all of them. Inside the train, they started blasting rap music on a speaker. Loud, aggressive, violent. The lyrics were about killings, gangs, and revenge. Then one of them caught me glancing their way. He yelled, "You got a problem? I'll bash your head in!" My heart exploded in my chest. I froze. He pulled out a knife, waved it just enough for me to see, and smiled, a slow, creepy grin, before turning back to his friends and continuing to rap along to the music. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I wanted to switch carriages, but that meant walking right past me.
No, that's crack. But listen, bro, how is a man gonna say that to you and then you sit in a corner like this? What is he doing?
And then he's gonna go back to rapping, and you're gonna sit
Stay
there and
there,
continue
bro.
to watch.
Yo, this teacher is stupid, bro. This guy's he's on
The
something.
ones that
Man.
I found, he
But
said,
I couldn't get off yet. The next stop was still 5 minutes away. So I did the only thing I could think of. I texted my friend, my hands shaking, explaining everything that was happening. He told me to take a photo of them so he could report it to the police.
Oh, no.
I pulled out my phone, took a quick picture, and that's when I realized I'd made a huge mistake. My
flashlight.
phone wasn't on silent. That
Oh.
loud click gave me away instantly. All of them turned toward me, shouting. I shoved my phone into my jacket and froze, unable to understand what they were yelling, their voices all overlapping in anger. Just then, the train began to slow down. We were pulling into the next station. I didn't care that it was my stop. The moment the doors opened, I ran. I jumped the payment gates without even thinking. The doors opened. We were pulling into the next station. I didn't care that it wasn't my stop. The moment the doors opened, I ran. I jumped the payment gates without even thinking, sprinting through the station as they came chasing after me. I don't know where I was. It was a random stop, but I saw lights up ahead, a busy street, and I just ran toward it. I ran until my lungs burned, until my legs gave out, and I hit the pavement. When I turned back, they were gone. I had lost them. I got up, still shaking, and walked toward the brighter part of the street. Shops, lights, cars,
What store?
people.
What store are you
Finally,
watching?
I could breathe again. I called my friend, and thank God, he came to pick me up. On the way home, I called the police and told them.
Listen, bro, I'm just glad his friend at least came to pick him up, because his friend almost set him up just now, bro, with that picture.
He set himself up.
No, he did.
He should have took a picture for when they were on the platform.
He should have, but man.
But he set himself up. With that, you should have had it on silent.
Bro.
You should have had no flash.
Man
No
almost
shebang.
lost his life over a fucking picture, brother. Like,
He said, "Wah!" He
I'm
said, I
surprised-
don't know what
honestly,
they're yelling at me.
I'm surprised they even let him get out.
I'm trying to say,
At
yeah,
the
they
stop,
didn't
like-
attack him on
No.
the train. He said they were just yelling
Yelling
at
and shit,
him,
but
and
bro.
he didn't know what they were saying. I'm surprised they didn't attack
Yeah, if
him.
they stood in front of the fucking, the entrance and stopped him from exiting the train, then his life would have been done.
Yeah,
Like,
but he was able to get out somehow.
I think he should. Nah, he can't be a track star. He was running, but
Yeah, he was running.
his stamina was not there, bro. I'm not gonna
He was
lie.
running, though.
He was running, bro. Like his life depended on it. But
I
shout out
think
to
he
my
went
guy.
farther than he went.
Nah, yeah.
It
Said
seemed
that
like he only went across the street from
for the exiting. I know, but he said he went to the nearest fucking busy
that's what I'm
street and
saying.
shit, all that. Bro.
I guess, well, yeah, sometimes the station underground is long, so I don't know, maybe he ran through the station a long time before going up,
I
because some
doubt it.
stations are like that.
I doubt it. I think that's just the artwork that he just said, fuck it, whatever.
No,
All
some-
right.
I don't know, some stations are
They
like
asked me to come in the next morning and bring my phone. The police never found the group, but I'm just thankful I never ran into them again. These days, my shifts end at 9, and I'm a lot more aware of my surroundings. Some of my friends tease me for being paranoid, but honestly, better safe than sorry.
There's a goo.
Those mans probably didn't rep that block, bro. They were probably coming from a different
My name is
side.
Rima, and I am from Kolkata, India.
Bro, that whole story was hilarious. It's not funny. I figured out. Okay, I realized what we're watching. Okay, I thought we were watching horror stories. Okay, I kept waiting for some jump scare, some horror stuff. Clearly, we're watching like horror meetings, horror events, traumatizing events,
Damn near trauma, bro.
crimes. And that's
But
what we're watching.
We'll see how this shit turns
I
out.
was
This is story
lost.
3. Story
it took
3.
me the
Story 3.
second story to find out what the hell we were watching.
The story I'm going to share is about a scary series of incidents that happened to my friend when we were in high school. I'll call her Priya. Priya was a very kind and sensitive girl by nature. She was a close friend of mine back then, though our closeness faded during college. Everything I'm about to say now was told to me directly by her. Coming to the story, I always noticed that Priya, despite being such a kind girl, had always faced difficulties in her life. Even in her love life, none of her relationships ever worked out. It first started to happen when we were in the 11th grade, right after her breakup with her third boyfriend in school.
No. Third boyfriend in grade 11, bro, you gotta just chill out. You gotta take a break. What do you mean? You mean like it's just not going nice for her? Clearly, what you resist persists, buddy. And what you persist
I keep
resist.
telling him stop saying that. That's not the fact. That's not the truth.
Man.
Don't listen to that.
For some people it works. I'm just saying, bro. Realistically, if you're on your third relationship in grade 11,
then maybe you should follow God. Like,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Follow God. Just give it some time, man. Let them come to you.
But it's not what you resist, persist. Remember, there's life and death in the tongue. If people are wishing bad things upon you, it can happen. If you're wishing bad things upon yourself, it can happen. It's life and death of the tongue. If you're not protecting yourself properly and you have people who are cursing you and you're not protected, then so go.
Anyways, to each their own. Whatever you believe in, brother. Just know, at a certain point,
you shouldn't be dating in grade 11.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. But
I would say you shouldn't be dating in grade 11 because all that's in your mind is intimacy. It's not about the relationship. It's not about the other person. It's intimacy. Unless you guys are planning to get married and have an actual future, then celibacy is the right way. Then that's a real relationship if you're not being sexualized. But if you're going to sexualize a relationship, that's not relationship. That's perversion at a young age. So
stay safe out there, my boys and girls. Like, that's crazy.
One day, she looked scared, with a puzzled expression on her face, and she told me that she was seeing and hearing things. Now, anyone would think that this was a case of hallucinations caused by the trauma and depression from her breakup, but I don't know what was up with her. It didn't seem like mere hallucinations. She used to say she could hear someone whispering in her ear, or that whenever she studied late at night, she could hear a deep voice calling her name when there was no one else in the room. She told me that sometimes she would see, hear, and experience things that were completely unexplainable. She said that sometimes she felt a negative presence in her room, and sometimes she saw a shadowy figure of a girl sitting with her head buried in her arms near the dark corner of the room. She tried to ignore it and casually went on with her everyday life. I consoled her, saying she should see a therapist and try meditation, because I believed what she was experiencing was just depression from her breakup. For some reason, she was very close to me and shared many personal things with me. But sadly, day by day, things were getting worse. One day, I saw that her big toe was bandaged, and when I asked what happened, she told me something that sent shivers down my spine. She said that the previous day, while studying, she suddenly felt an urge to rip off her toe forcibly. Even though she felt extreme pain, she was struggling to stop herself, as if some invisible evil energy had taken control of her body. That really scared me. It was then that I realized she was going through something paranormal, because the things happening to her couldn't just be hallucinations or depression. Sure, she was depressed and frustrated, which was natural, but that didn't explain the unusual things she experienced. A few days later, I heard from her that someone in her own family had performed black magic on her and sent an evil energy to cause her harm. Later, she told me she finally explained everything to her mother.
No, I'm confused, bro. See? Why would your own family want to do that shit
because,
to you?
Yo, family's wicked. It's a lot of you, especially black magic, guys, what I've heard and from like other cultures, okay? Not specifically like my culture, but from other cultures, I've heard black magic is mostly coming from within close friends and family. Yeah. Usually comes from close friends and close family. And like from my personal experience, from what I was told, more like Indian, Middle Eastern cultures, South Asian, it's usually their family, number one, or a close family friend.
Well,
black magic feeds off of that type of energy and stuff, right? It could also be schoolmates and all that, co-workers, but it's usually someone you know. It's not usually a random person.
Say someone be picking up hairs and just be doing shit with it, eh?
Saying things, chanting things, thinking things over and over. Black magic is the smallest and the biggest things.
Sought help from a tantric, a sage who practices tantra and occult rituals involving yoga, spiritual meditation, and rituals. The tantric performed a ritual to cut off the effects of the black magic, and it worked. He told her that someone from her own bloodline had done the evil practice on her. Since then, Priya has been fine and hasn't expressed any more unusual activity. It's been a long time now. We aren't that close anymore, but when I see her Instagram posts, I feel relieved that she's doing well. I'm just happy that her problem was finally resolved.
Woohoo,
So
yeah,
so why
that
aren't
was-
you guys friends
That
anymore?
was kind of like a
Exactly.
horror little thing.
Yeah,
too.
no, see you you called it. You said,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, this shit's not for horror." Then boom, the horror pops up. But I'm just saying though, like, what do you mean you guys aren't in touch anymore? You be watching her from Instagram.
Well,
Shout
it's
her out.
hard. Like when you guys move, like I have a lot of friends that
Uh,
move really far, and I don't talk to them too much. But if
yeah,
I
that's
see
hard.
them or get in touch, then we have a good conversation.
Yeah, it'd be hard. It'd be hard to keep in
People
touch, but
got their own
sometimes you gotta
lives.
just do it, bro. If you have to think about it, don't think, just do it.
Also, sometimes people be having some crazy Instagram names, and I be looking for certain people to check on them, and I just can't find
Can't
the
find
damn
'em.
name.
Yeah.
But
All right.
my love's there.
All right. On to number 4.
Number 4.
True old man horror story.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and this is a true story that my father experienced many years ago. Take note that we're from the Philippines, and my father was from a small town at the countryside. Back when he was around 14, 13, when this happened, he and his friends would often go to the Betamax to watch movies and films. Back then, Betamax was like a cinema where you'd only have to pay 1 peso to get in. It was a 15-20 minute walk from their house, so they would often hang out there. So after the movie ended, my father and his friends were walking home. It was around 8:30 p.m. But since they live on the countryside, the nights there were often super dark and creepy, since streetlights in that area were rare. Soon my father and his friends separated, since they lived in different towns. As my father continued walking, he saw an old man beneath a streetlight. Sensing as it was dark and the old man looked weak, he approached the man and asked him, "Excuse me, sir, but why are you still out? It's dangerous out here." But the old man just stared at him. Due to the stories around that time and the warnings that his mom had given him, my dad then felt that something was off about that man. So he waved to the man and then quickly walked away. Around 5 minutes later, he noticed that the man was following him. However, as he turned around to see, it seemed like the old man had seen that he was following him. He could only see the back of the old man. My dad then got the chills, started to walk faster, but then he noticed that it also started to walk faster. Then he full-on sprinted to their house.
Oh my
While
God.
sprinting, he checked to see the old man, and what he saw will forever be engraved in his mind. He said that he saw the old man on all fours crawling towards him with its body backwards, its head peeking underneath him, looking at him. That filled him with adrenaline, and he bolted to their house, kicking the door open, which startled his mom. Quickly locked the door.
I would have kicked that bitch
As
down
soon as he
super
locked it, a
fast.
loud thud was heard from outside the door. He dared not look out. He explained to his mom what had happened, and his mom was obviously terrified. He could only scold him for going out late at night.
Looks like his wife. The hell? Well, mom. Bro.
This happened
Story was so quick, but
It was
yeah.
quick, but really, bro, in the countryside, when it's really that dark, bro, anything goes, bro. Like, you can see a lot of shit, especially as a kid.
I used
Or
to get
animals.
creeped out in the same situation. I used to leave the movies late with my friends.
Especially after watching a horror movie, it's up, bro.
Walking home in the dark.
Yeah.
Spiderwebs catching on my face. I'm like,
Everything's
yeah.
gonna scare you, bro.
There's random
Trust me.
people standing and staring on the street. Yeah, nighttime, it's just weird in general. Especially after you leave the movies or you leave somewhere.
Yeah, because it's like,
It's
bro, you
dark.
never know. Especially when you're walking, you feel like someone's actually walking with you, bro. Like, you're gonna trip out.
Yeah, trust
You're
me.
gonna trip out, bro.
And personally, at nighttime, I don't ask anyone what's wrong with them unless I see, like, visible, like, problem, like injury or something. That old man, for all I know, he was just standing there. Old people do some weird stuff at night. I used to walk past the park and see an old man stretching and working out at 11, 12 a.m. and at night. At night.
Nah, this
So-
is different. Going on all fours, bro. There's something wrong with that man, bro. You know
used
what?
to leave people alone. And that's,
Could you really blame him if he put his hands on that man walking like that? But he was actually not even like
I was
possessed or
kicking
nothing.
myself
He
in
was
by
just
accident. Like, don't chase me like that.
yeah, fuck, man. But yeah, that was story 4, bro. On to number 5, man. I think what they call this one the motel.
Yeah, the motel.
Alright, yeah, this is the motel.
Years ago, at a motel in southern Arizona during a business trip. My company had booked the room last minute, so I arrived late that night, exhausted after a long drive down the dark highway. The shabby neon sign flickered red, and only a few vehicles, a truck and a couple of old cars, sat in the parking lot. At the front desk was an old man with a blank expression.
"Long drives are tough, aren't they?"
He said.
"You look like you're about to faint. Please, go to room 107.
The room was small, as I expected, but not terrible, except for the strange framed paintings on the wall. I don't remember them clearly now, but one drawing looked like something between a gargoyle and a bat. It gave me chills. I muttered to myself, wondering why anyone would hang something like that in a motel room, and went to the bathroom to take a shower. Later, I was lying in bed, drifting off, when I heard footsteps in the hallway. Normally, I wouldn't have noticed, but these were loud, and they stopped right outside my door. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Time passed, and whoever it was still hadn't moved. My heart started to race with a sudden, inexplicable fear. But I was so tired I could barely keep my eyes open. I managed to call the front desk and told them someone was standing outside my door. They asked me to check, but I hung up, too exhausted, and eventually fell asleep. When I opened my eyes, it was already morning. I asked the old man what had happened the night before. He said,
"Oh, that guy from yesterday? He was standing still in front of your door. I watched him quietly. He didn't move for about 10 minutes. When I approached him, I saw his eyes were closed. I asked what he was doing. He didn't seem surprised, just smiled at me and said he was fantasizing about killing the person in that room. He told me exactly what he imagined doing. It was pretty disturbing stuff. He said he was picturing himself breaking the shoulder blade of the person inside."
The man at the desk sighed and continued.
"So I told him to stop bothering other guests and go back to his room. He just stared at me with that same smile for a while, then quietly packed his things and left. I thought about calling the police, but since he hadn't done anything, I let it go. I watched him drive off onto the highway, and that was it."
After hearing that, I just stood there in silence. I thanked him and left the motel. I tried my best to act calm until I reached the car, but I haven't stayed in a motel since that night.
Yeah,
Stood outside my
brother.
door you watched him stand outside my door for 10 minutes straight. What were you have a free 10 minutes on your hand, like.
Moving story, bro. If you have to go to a motel, bro, just go with someone you trust.
Yeah, cause
If you feel like something's wrong, bro, don't be afraid to get help, because you've seen what could have happened if you decided to call 911 or if you decided to check at the door or whatnot. Just like that old man, bro. The old man could have just called the cops, but because he didn't do anything, now there's a likelihood that he could do that to someone else.
Yeah.
Because there's no way someone's going to tell me, yo, I thought about killing someone.
Murdering this guy.
And tell me how he's going to do it.
Looking at me creepily, too.
And I'm not going to prevent that from possibly happening to someone else.
For real.
Be for real.
Like,
yeah. Why are you copying my whole flow? Like, stop. No. But yeah, man, that was the video. Let us know which one was your favorite pick of the day.
favorite pick of the day.
Yeah.
Favorite pick of the day. It would be Priya for me.
Priya, yeah, because you have a Priya in your life. That's why.
No.
That Indian story was fire, though. Same with the guy in the train station, you know what I mean? Like, those are my main ones. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, like, comment down below. I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening.
I'm PNIJ.
Signing out.
Out.